Hello, my name is Abe, and welcome back to Monster Train. Let's check out the logbook. You know what, actually, before we do this, standard run, start run, now we have some music. I don't know why there's no main menu music, it just seems so strange to me. What do we have left to do for our 100% Divine Victories completion? Hellhorn Stygian, Hellhorned Umbra, Hellhorned Melting, Awoken Melting. You know, that just sounds weird. Awoken Hollow, sorry, not Awoken Hollow. Who's the Hollow? No, it's Awoken Sentient. Who's a Hollow? Oh, the Hollow are the units in the Awoken. Sentient Melting. Sentient Melting, huh? I think I remember doing the Wildington version of this not too long ago, but sure, okay. Sentient Melting. What the hell do you take here? It's weird because restore and mold are kind of antithetical to one another. You want to keep units alive, not let them die and bring them back. I guess we could take dregs and then they can just be temporary damage dealers, but our deck kind of sucks with dregs in them. I'd rather have primitive molds, but our units suck, except if a train steward dies, we can just bring it back. So I think we'll take mold. Restore? I mean, we have to take restore, and we'll see what happens. I wouldn't mind trying to go for a cultivation champion, though. It's been a while since I've had an opportunity to do one of those builds. Buff debuff Seraph? This basically means we would prefer to go cultivation build, because buff debuff Seraph counters both spikes and the restoration. Enemies deal 1 damage. Spell, shield, and armor fell. Easy early battles. This one, kind of hard on an Awoken deck. We're definitely looking for a good damage sweeper though, because I don't want to use spikes against this version of Seraph. Spikes getting to Seraph are fine. Spikes at Seraph are a little bit scarier. Days when they enter the Pyre Room. Friendly units gain rage when they lose burnout. Dazing on the Pyre Room is totally fine. That's gonna save us so much damage in the early game. And we did get specifically these 2 options, which is kind of terrible. I mean, you know me, I much prefer spikes. We have a lot of like restoration synergies here, not really. I'm gonna take spikes, because I really just think it is better. We will take money. As long as they don't have armor, this should be totally fine, although they're gonna suck temporarily. But we have some spells in the deck we can use to soften the enemies up a little bit. But yeah, I just think spikes are just a little bit better because it helps kill the back lines. Restoration Detonation does not do that. I do kind of hate this start, but I do like... Well, we just gotta play the Sentient up here, basically. We play you, you're getting all the kills. We can play you, you're dying, which is totally fine. I think we prefer to slow down the damage up here because enemies are gonna be weaker when they're up on the top floor. So right now they're only doing 12 damage up there. And this is a great time, a perfect time in fact, to bring back the Train Steward, kill the Collector, heal up a little bit. Look, is our champion gonna take a lot of damage? Oh yeah, absolutely. They're gonna take a freaking beating. Restore health and apply Burnout 3 to a friendly unit. You know? It's very tempting to do this, because the restores are just not good enough. Descending on you is actually pretty good. I could also keep the Train Steward alive longer. I really think we just want to burn out our Sentient, our boss. We're not gonna mold, so you might as well come down here, heal up a little bit more. We should be able to draw another one of those soon enough, I think, to keep you alive. And if you're only taking 7, I'm not gonna descend you, I'm just gonna let you go. I'll kill you. You're attacking once, now you're attacking twice. We're gonna draw a train steward next turn. If we're gonna draw another train steward, I'm not gonna put you behind my champion. I don't know if my champion's gonna be able to live that long. I will do this though. Burnout 3 train steward? Oh my god, is it a dream? I think we're gonna be able to kill you. I think you're totally dead. The train stewards are doing enough damage on their own. And we're burning out. However, speaking of burnout. Okay, beautiful. Nothing even made it to the pyre, so we didn't need the funnel, but that's okay. Fine grasp, sharpen, steel enhancer. So sharpen, I guess we already have spikes. We don't need it. So I'm gonna take steel enhancer. 1 less attack damage, but way more health, I guess, and way cheaper and easier to play. A targeted mold. I think we probably don't need it if we have primitive molds. I think a Wicklash might be a little better, especially if we can just buff units and keep them cycling. Yeah, take a Wicklash. And yes, units. Multi-strike, burnout, 10 health and spikes 3. You know, what about an Animus burnout build? I mean, first of all, we're gonna take this because it's a good unit, it's the unit. But what about multi-strike and then burnout? And then you just play the Animus and you let it die and you let it come back over and over again with primitive mold. You can put it behind your sentient and then it just gets stronger and stronger as time goes on. Eventually, it's gonna have a burnout problem. Maybe you just multi-strike and reroll. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. In fact, I think I'm so happy with that, we're gonna take more money. Spikes 3. You know what? That does not seem to be too much of a problem when our Animus has now 40 health. By the way, hurrah! Hooah! Get some! Okay, you do have a lot of spikes, admittedly. I think we start on the bottom, gives us time to mold back for future turns, basically. Yeah, you're taking a lot of damage. You're also killing everything. So we want cards that buff our Animus, and we have a couple of them in the deck, namely Steel Enhancer and Wicklash. Either of these being holdover is pretty good, but I think Wicklash would be a lot better. But baby, I'll take what I can get. Burp, burp. Baby. I don't think we want to play this. I think it makes our units burn out too quickly. I know that we have to deal with, you know, that upcoming unit and everything, but I don't think we want to play our units. I think we just want to, yeah, just basically kill you. Attack, attack, attack. I mean, in theory, now I could maybe Purify and Cleanse to keep someone alive, but if we don't need it, we don't need it. So basically our Animus was able to handle everything. So our run so far is starting great. Yes, this is also a card that we want. This is also a good card that we want. This is a tough one, actually. What's happening next? Merchant of Magic, Divine Temple, Remnant Unit, Urzel's Horde. We would love to have a holdover here, but we're getting a unit. I think we actually want Restoration Detonation to keep units alive. I'm almost tempted to try to like super burn out the Animus with all these damage cards that we are picking up, like Wicklash. Could we do that? Could we make it work? Try to find holdover on one of them, and then if we can just draw it in our deck, then we're set. A free relic is pretty good, as is a free unit. Then we've got a concealed cavern showing up. I wouldn't mind the idea of melding and then, you know, just in case you get a +5, but what kind of remnant units would we get that have good buffs? Actually, you know what I would love? Harvest Baron. Harvest Baron that gains stats would make the Animus scale magnificently. And we could dupe the unit later and then descend it. We do have a descend in the deck that could maybe get intrinsic on it. Dude, I gotta look. Okay, I don't have to look, but I'm going to look. I think I will also take units are cheaper. It's not what I wanted, except maybe this is what I want. Would we like to give rage to burnout units, e.g. maybe the Animus, so it scales, or just give it +30, sorry, +15 attack, which is actually +60 attack, burnout, and then we just play all our burnout cards on it, and actually, if it dies, whatever, it comes back thanks to the molding anyways. So you know what? I think we want to buff the hell out of this Animus immediately. It has burnout 3, who gives a damn? It's coming out as a 120 damage unit with 70 HP. And then what I'm gonna do after this point is work on getting a Restoring Retreat innate, -2 or -1, and then we can play both of them on the same turn, and then have a floor of just nonsense. I really like that idea. +30 magic power. Restoration Detonation is admittedly very good here, but I would much rather have, I think, well, we do need a good heal. I think it's a little early to be going that heavy into pack shards, though. I think we can wait. Purge a spell or essence of 2 spells. See, this is tempting because, like, 2 Wicklashes. Dude, 2 Wicklashes is actually totally fine. I was also thinking Restoration Detonation. What if we just go Wicklash, +20 attack, plus burnout 4? Pretty good. I mean, more burnout cards in the deck I think are totally fine. I think at 50 pack shards we're okay to pause. Yeah, I think we've got a very great run here. And even if our champion dies, first of all, we can just bring him back. So it doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm just gonna play you in the front. We have a ton of cards in the deck that enable burnout, including this one. If you die, dude, honestly, I don't care. Just don't play any other units because you don't want to bring back anything that's not your champion. And then, sorry for the sniffling, I am sick. If you didn't know. If you're not paying attention. How much damage are you doing? Why are you taking 7? You're taking 5 and then 2 from units dying. Is that right? 2, 7, die. So you're taking 5 and then this unit's death. If I heal you, what'll happen? You'll live for another turn. You know what? I'm gonna heal you. Because then I don't have to worry about bringing you back at all. And if you take a little bit of damage, who gives a damn? So, we'll buff you. And I'll buff you again. And I will heal you. That's not gonna keep you alive. Maybe it'll stop the Animus from taking a little bit of damage. But then again, who cares? Because we'll just bring the champion back momentarily. So we'll buff you. You're doing 200 damage a turn, which is really decent. There we go, there's a couple of Wicklashes. So, can't help but notice we're not drawing a Reform card. I don't think it's gonna matter though. But I will buff you to 11 burnout. Wipe your friend. Now if we draw our champion, it's only gonna live for 1 turn. By the way, we did not draw our champion. Can't help but notice. It doesn't matter because you're getting the kill, thankfully. we gotta purge our deck to get to our good cards faster, and we gotta take draw, 100%. I also think endless is good because endless on the champion means we can draw it every turn, and we don't have to pay burnout tax for it. Quick is also good, but we don't really care about quick, do we? I think Wickless Tycoon can work. I think the problem with it though is that by adding Wickless Tycoon, we're less likely to draw an Animus. The money is great, but this is a card where I can't help but feel like at some point in the run I'm just gonna wanna remove it. So let's skip it. We're gonna take draw. Units being free makes draw the easy choice, I think. And then, I gotta be honest, I think we just remove cards and duplicate our Animus. Oh look, units. Train stewards have to go because they're less than worthless. -2. Spell chain. Spell chain is not what we're looking for. We have no other units. I guess I could meld them and then get rid of them, which is not what I want. So because our champion does have endless, not yet, but we'll give him endless. I think Spikes 20 is totally fine. I also feel like maybe Cultivation Draw is fine because it'll make the units behind the champion stronger. The problem is they start at 73 HP. So you know what? Let me look at the logbook real quick. How much health do you get on level 1 to level 2? You gain 40 HP. So you're gonna have 100 health and you're gonna cultivate. I think that the Animuses are actually too strong. I think we just want full spikes. Kill the weak enemies to let the Animuses thrive. I will dupe. Again, because if it dies, it doesn't matter, it comes back. We don't need spell chain or anything. We have another temple coming up, a melder. I think we can totally turn this on. If we're not killing them on the bottom floor, what we'll do is just start on the top floor. Hell, we can play our Animus on the second floor and then descend it later. We did draw endless, which is pretty great. As is though, everything's dying. So you know what? I'm gonna do this. Sounds like a good turn to me. Oh look, room for another Animus, you say? You know, I think here what I'm gonna do is just buff my Animuses. That's probably what I'm gonna do, right? Yeah. Although it is tempting to Wicklash you twice because you're gonna be descended eventually. So we'll Wicklash you once and then you twice. Hey, it's Restoring Retreat, the card that I wanted. Fancy seeing you here. Well, pretty easy run so far. I like easy runs, honestly. Don't take that out of context. You know what? Nothing is gonna make it up. I'm just gonna play the Train Stewards to get them out of my deck. You have burnout, you get buffed, you have health. By the way, you're freaking toast. Now I didn't get any more burnout cards, unfortunately, but that's fine. I mean, you're basically taking 300 damage a turn. This is a good run. Yeah, totally. I feel like we got very lucky with what we picked up. Consume, apply, quick. You know what's interesting about this is that I kind of want the enemies to attack. I want them to be weakened by spikes, and then the Animuses can pick up the scraps, and then we can just heal them later anyways. So I kind of don't want quick, weirdly enough. It is good, but I want to make sure we have enough damage to kill late game enemies, and I think the Sentient having spikes taking the first hits from enemies is extremely helpful. I mean, think about Divinity, and some of the enemies that grant spikes, they all attack. So if they attack, they'll attack into the Sentient, die, the floor will lose spikes, and then my Animuses won't take that much damage from spikes when they attack anymore. I really just don't see quick being that important right here. To kill like a Ember Drain Sweeper, yeah, sure. But otherwise, I'm like, I don't really care about Wildwood Tome. Normally, I like it, but I think this is one of those situations where it's just not important. Daze 3 to an already damaged unit is really good. Problem is, what are we dazing? Bosses? Bosses are dead anyways, probably. It is a good daze card, though. Very good to freeze, make it cheaper. I think I could add one of those. Now, we don't really need Merchant of Steel, so we're just gonna go the opposite direction. Continue upgrading our cards. -2, very good on Nexus Spike, but it consumes. I think we want this on Restoring Retreat, so we can guaranteed play it every time it shows up to smush the floors. Making this permafrost also means that if you draw it on turn 1, it's not useless. So I do think we'll just upgrade this immediately. Yeah, we get a little bit more pack shards, but that's kind of the point. I do also like a restoration detonation with piercing. I think we can afford to take the packs. Now that we're done with Train Stewards, literally the only units on our deck are Animuses. Move, consume. Nexus Spike does not need it. It's a good to have, but unnecessary. I think that, if anything, just like a consume restore will definitely make this cheaper. Nexus Spike needs to be cheaper as well. Let's upgrade that first. Double stack. Daze 6 is real good. Burnout 4 is also pretty decent. Does this work, by the way? Can you double stack a Nexus Spike? Because that would be Burnout 8, which is phenomenal. I think Daze is gonna be more important. That is very fun. Let's put it on Mortal Entrapment. I think that's a more pertinent play when it shows up. +10 magic power. We'll put this on. Probably don't need it on Purifying Cleanses. The units in the back are not going to be taking that much damage. We'll just upgrade a Restore. I think we'll definitely just purge like a Restore because we're going to have Endless, and we can purge a Mold. Save a little bit of cash. And I think we're good. 85 pack shards. It's a lot early, but I think it's gonna be just fine. We'll definitely turn this on. We don't attack with spells. The one spell that we have that does damage pierces anyways. And the power of spikes compels you to die on the first hit so we don't take that much damage. I mean, that's a pretty good play. Whine, whine, whine. All you do is whine. Burnout 5. For me, it's a very easy play of who needs to burn out the most. Okay, who's taking the most damage? Now, I will admit, descending the Animus means we can no longer re-summon the champion. Admittedly, I didn't really think about that, but we could always just have 2 Animuses on 2 different floors for now, and then descend them right at the very end. I think we're gonna need to work our way around that a little bit, though. You're dying. Yeah, I think that's gonna be something that we have to pay attention to later, is that the fact that the Sentient, if they're gonna have Endless, maybe they don't need the big heal on it. Maybe a Quick Book would have actually been a good play in hindsight. 6-6. Let's give it to you, since you're more important right now. But I still think we're gonna be okay. Now, I would love to get the Descend. We're not gonna get it. That's why a Permafrost would have been lovely. Wow, we already shuffled, huh? That's a surprise. We're just gonna buff you up because I think that, you know, the sweeper, yeah, they sweep, but they're still dead. I guess with a sweeper, it doesn't matter what floors you use. It's a almost 400 damage Animus. And we're still building into this deck. Invigorating Solution. Draw +3 next turn. You know, I actually think we can make it work. We want draw. Remove debuff buffs. This is also a pretty good card. I think I can accept a resin removal. It might not be holdover worthy, but just to remove debuffs like stealth, man, that's a very nice card to have. I think we want to upgrade our spells, so we're gonna continue going the right path here. Add a sting every turn, champion attack, or extra energy when you summon a unit. All right, we're gonna go sting every turn. Probably means energy is what we're gonna take next, because we are gonna remove a couple of cards. Get rid of a restore, get rid of a mold, I think. Continue to just thin out this deck. Normally I don't have the opportunity to really build decks this thin. So to be able to do that here, I'm actually kind of happy. We gain enough burnout, I don't think we need this. I think we just want to buff like a restore. We'll make, let's make Nexus Spike free so it's a guaranteed play. Now holdover. So this is an interesting question. Maybe you just want holdover Restoration Detonation. I mean, that's upwards of 100 damage to the front enemy unit every turn. Wicklash, I think we're getting to the Wicklashes fast enough. This is gonna cut into our draw heavily, but like, I think Restoration Detonation is totally fine. I think that's a great card. And then let's just make one restore good and not consume. Invigorating Solution is now playable. Let's go to the next fight. Thanks to the stings, we can take energy because we're gonna have enough card draw thanks to the stings. I mean, this is basically a boss relic, it just doesn't work on turn 1. That's how I think of this. And if you are fighting Consume Seraph, it's a complete negation to Consume Seraph, which is just beautiful. So, normal things. We still like Endless, by the way, on the Sentient, just to bring it back. We like it because if we're on Relentless like this, we can always Sentient, Reform Animus, and play on another floor. I still think this is totally acceptable. We got all of our units out immediately too, which is great. Everything's dying. I think because of our heals and our newfound holdover, Restoration Detonation, we're just gonna descend immediately. I'd rather play the consume one. You gain armor, look, it doesn't matter. You're gonna die. You're gonna die, clown! And then let's give you 1 armor. Or 1 regen, rather. All right, Invigorating Solution. That's a net neutral. That's a heal. We're gonna play this. We're also gonna play this. We wanna buff the unit in the back more so than the unit in the front. Unit in the front does get buffs, but maybe we'll just wait for the regens for this unit and we'll buff the back unit so, you know, they live longer. You don't have any buffs. We don't really want to play the heal though, so you know what? Goodbye. Spell shield. Still good damage to the boss, so we'll buff your damage. And buff you, and buff you, and buff you. We can probably get rid of some of these molds now. I mean, we're clearly not really utilizing them. I can daze ya. I'll wait to redraw the Restoration Detonation. I got no problem with that. I mean, look at these heals coming out. Burnout is still a like minor problem, but not a huge one. Dude, honestly, if I daze you for 12, I'm pretty sure my animuses will wipe the floor with you. Okay, you're only dazed for 10, but still. You're dazed for almost as long as the lifespan of my most strong Animus. I'll admit, a card that removes... I'm doing 400 damage. A card that removes Burnout might be nice, but I don't think we need it. We just need to thin out the deck even more, probably. Remove all burnout and debuff effects from a unit. Okay, well, you know, here's what I like about it. We can focus all of our efforts on one Animus, and then just have another Animus remove its burnout. We could also take the Rail Spike and draw more, which is really good, actually. But we have enough draw. We've got Stings. I think this is exactly what I want. We need the energy. I mean, I'm adding one card. Have you seen the cards I've removed from the deck? I might even want to dupe another Animus just so I have another one on the floor and maybe descend it and have another Animus out there. In fact, I'm kind of leaning towards that, but I think we'll go artifact card removal, and then if we want to duplicate, we can just duplicate here. Ah, but this area sucks. It's Merchant of Steel. I don't think we need to dupe. I'm gonna look for artifacts. Daze enemies that would be ascended or descended. I actually want them to attack. I want them to attack into my sentient, probably. But descending or dazing is not a bad idea. Gaining energy on the first turn, probably unnecessary. Our units are already free. I guess we'll take this, the daze. +3 magic power. If I reroll, I can't afford anything else. I was kind of hoping we'd be able to buy something good. I guess not. Something tells me we don't need this many stings in our deck. We can probably remove a couple. And then intrinsic spell chain. It's funny because intrinsic is kind of what I was wanting with the restoring retreat, but it doesn't seem necessary. And endless on our sentient is probably unnecessary because we have a couple of heals in the deck. So intrinsic is not terrible because if we remove the burnout of the first Animus, it's okay. But if I, only play this on turn 2 or 3, it's usually fine. So it's not necessary to make it intrinsic to get the pact shards. It's kind of just a waste. Maybe spell chain? Let me look. Even this, I'm like, I don't see it. So I'm just gonna upgrade for more spikes, and we will move on. Now, yes, Seraph is gonna suck. We're gonna lose all of our spikes. So what we'll probably do is look for permafrost on restoring retreat, and then just descend the Animuses right at the very end. Spell shield, no problem. Our tank is gonna take a lot of damage. This is, it's a really good turn. We did kind of get everything we wanted. You're not dying, but that's fine. We did kill a couple of units for free. We don't need to play endless if there's other things worth playing. There's not, so let's not worry about it. You take this. You're not dying, but who cares? We will give you even more burnout. I think we might need to dupe another Animus. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, man, getting another Animus out there, doing damage every turn. That's 100 damage every turn. That's pretty good. Not doing enough damage to kill these minions. So I can't descend this Animus. You know what I actually think we do? I think we want to buff your damage. Then next turn we can kind of descend this Animus down. excuse me, need the heal, thank you. Remove debuffs and buffs, you know what? It's not gonna matter at all, but whatever. Finally got our heal card. And we got another Descend, beautiful. So now, Wickless, yeah, we'll play it on you, remove your burnout, stack your burnout. I guess if we just never let our tank die, it's not a problem ever, is it? Because that's good damage every turn. Maybe we should have played Immortal Entrapment. No, the damage is worth more. You have 5 HP? All right, admittedly, I didn't realize he had so little health. So here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna Purify and Cleanse you, and then Purge your Burnout. Because you got a lot of burnout, lady. I didn't think you were that high. On life. Anyways, you're dead. I don't see a world in which you live. Now, admittedly, you are killing me. But we're also killing you, because we're doing 400 damage a turn. So I think that went very well. I don't know, I haven't decided if we actually need another Animus yet. We don't need the energy. Votavary for free? Endless Extinguish, draw one? No. It's a tough call. We got plenty of money. It's a fast run, good lord. I think I would like to have another Animus though, just doing more damage. So even though I was thinking about the Merchant of Magic, I think our spells are good enough. I think we'll go to the right, see what we can get. Yeah, why not? Dupe an Animus and just have a little... Oh. Vine Grasp actually means we can replay the champion on the floor with the Animuses, and Burnout bonus is also really good. I think I'm gonna buy both of those. I think I will also reroll. Spikes deal double damage. Look, I'm just gonna call it, those are fantastic upgrades. Intrinsic Spell Chain. I don't think we need Intrinsic Spell Chain. I think a Spell Chain restoring Retreat actually makes a lot of sense, because now I can descend 2 units every time we draw the card. And I am gonna dupe an Animus. I know it gets us a lot more on the Packed Shards, but dude, that was like a phenomenal get. 3 really important relics. I keep wanting Vine Grasps in my deck lately and not being able to find them. So I'm kind of annoyed that we keep losing them, or losing the ability to get them, but at least we have them now. Pretty good turn 1, also. We're taking 66 damage. However, you're dead. Can't quite daze you, unfortunately. But I can Purge Burnout, hold this over, and I don't think we need to consume the Restore. But we did get the holdover heal on turn 1, which is fantastic. Also, there's a Vine Grasp. We gotta be careful about drawing too many cards, because if we draw too many cards, we won't get the Vine Grasp. Also, this is the perfect turn for this. Descend. Descend. Also, if we really want, because we have so much burnout, I'm just gonna heal the champion. It's burnout 6, who cares? That's so good. All right, that's pretty fun. Now, Wicklash. We're still gonna always Wicklash the unit at the back. It's like just the perfect draw. And we're always gonna Nexus Spike the unit at the back as well. Do I have the thing that lets me remove my debuffs yet? I don't think so. Keep buffing you. And by remove my debuffs, I mean burnout specifically. I guess our champion has 9 burnout. That's probably enough. So we have no energy this turn. That's when you would want to have quick, wouldn't you? That's very annoying. So what am I gonna do about it? I guess what I'm gonna do about it is nothing. And we'll hopefully draw that at some point in the future. Hey, more Ember Drain. Really wish you wouldn't do that. It's actually very rude. However, I can daze you, and now I won't get Ember Drain next turn. Our champion will be able to be played in the front. So we want our champion to die. They only have spikes 1. So we want them to die and then be brought back. So I'm not going to heal you. I'm actually going to heal you. I'm going to remove your burnout. So a heal on you actually does make quite a bit of sense. You have burnout 22. You're gonna be fine. But this was the exact, and we're gonna have full spikes, by the way, but this was the exact situation I wanted. Sentient can be descended, and then because we have the Vine Grasp, they can be pulled to the front to act as a tank. It's so good. You know what? I think I will give you burnout 12 in order to heal you by 30. I think that's okay. I think I will also buff you. Sting. Let's buff you even more. Heal you, heal you. I think we're gonna be fine. Especially if I get the Daze card, which I did. Okay, in hindsight, we need a little bit more damage. Fortunately, we have that little bit more damage. Take 6 turns of Daze. All right. Now we're set. I guess you can take a big ol' restore. Remove burnout. You know what? Go ahead. So we needed the Daze, but we added it specifically for kind of handling this situation. And those animuses that are doing 33, it's 100 damage. It's not bad. Could be better. And if they die, they die. They come back anyways. Look, win, lose, or draw, this is gonna be a fast run. It's 42 minutes into it. All right, well, I can't say we got perfect draw, but we got pretty good draw. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I would really like to hurt you and then daze the boss. You know what? I actually absolutely can. And it's not even gonna cost me any energy. I think we wanna do that just to stop you from hitting me. I can stack up enough days to kill you easily. So we're gonna do this. This. Just don't play the sting down there, I suppose. I will make you endless again. Yeah, that's 80 damage on the spikes, which is a beautiful. Now, an Animus needs to be played. A Vine Grasp. Doesn't really do anything, so I think we'll just play it up here. We didn't draw a Descend. We could play an Animus on the top. It's gonna give us 1 Ember Drain. Are we okay with that? I think we're probably okay with that. I think we probably want to buff this Animus with damage, though, just because we need the damage now. I do kind of like the idea of just getting an Animus out there. It's going to cost me 1 energy, but my cards coming up are really cheap. So, yeah, I think I will do that. Just to, you know, body block anything that's trying to make it up. This kills the unit in the front, by the way. Apparently 100 damage is a very important number to hit for this Steel Wing. Who needs burnout? Not really anybody. Play that, and let's play it here. I mean, even if the top floors just do damage, that's fine. I'd very much like to not have you, and we didn't get our cards because we drew so much. I very much would like to have you not be in the front, but if you're in the front, so be it. We might not need to play that though. We got possibly other things to do, like remove burnout. Removing your spikes also pretty okay, but again, you hit me, you die, and then I hit you back without spikes, so we don't really need to do that. I think the heal is good because we want it next turn. I think we will keep... We're gonna draw the Descend next turn. You up here at the top, you're fine. I think we want to buff you because we want to descend you eventually. I think we want to buff your damage. We're getting a kill. And then let's remove your burnout and then we'll start buffing these units when we descend them. This is a free play. Then give me a big restore. Gotta think about it a little bit, but it's going very well. You're almost dying. If I descend you, you're gonna take 80, but you're gonna be behind the tank. So I really do not want to descend you. What I might do is actually descend you and then give you the buff. That didn't change the amount of damage you were taking. Oh, because the front unit was actually dying already. All right, that makes sense. Well, this is an interesting play now. I still think we do it like this, as weird as it looks. You still take the same amount of damage. In fact, you're taking more now, but we get a lot of extra damage because of an extra animus down here. We don't need to like purge anything. In fact, we can probably just play this to purge the spell shield down here, as meaningless as it really is. You have 244 HP. Like, here's the thing. I don't think you're killing the pyre, so if I have to let you go, I have to let you go. But actually, that's pretty good. Now you're dead. You're still living. Remove all burnout and debuff effects from a unit. I can remove debuff effects from the enemy. Does not seem very good. I think you taking a heal is okay. A little extra damage down here, never hurt anybody. Fine Grasp, doesn't do anything. We're drawing 8 cards next turn, which is actually perfect. I suppose if we're doing nothing else, let's remove your debuffs. And again, if our champion dies, we just descend them and pull them to the front. Everything is beautiful. Okay, you are dying. Admittedly, it's probably a lot of damage, isn't it? Remove all buffs from enemy units. This is an interesting one because this kills a tank, which doesn't matter that much. If I pull the Wilt Wing forward, I can stop 20 damage. I could also, and you're gonna die to the spikes anyways. I mean, I think that's probably the play. You do deal, I can't tell. Like, I can't look at the number. I think it's 16. When the enemy units get this compressed, I can't tell what's going on. But I think we do want to pull that Wilt Wing forward. This would not be a bad time for our champion to die, though, if we're gonna draw a Descend soon, so we can replay them at the front. But next turn is actually not that much damage output. So if I can keep, I don't think, hold on. You're dazed, so it's gonna be 16, 32, 46, 56, 61. I think if I heal my champion, we'll die at exactly 61 HP. How are we taking 66 damage here, though? I don't understand the 66 number. Because you're hitting me for 40 because you're not dying. Yeah, so the unit in position 2, 3, and 5, their damage equals 51. The unit in position 4 deals 10 damage on death, that's 61, and I can pull him forward and kill him with Sting so he doesn't even attack. By healing my unit, my champ, I can kill the guard who's doing no damage, and then we'll die exactly, and then we can just resummon and descend on the next turn. I think the math works perfectly. And if it does, that's kind of awesome. Sometimes, just take a second, do the math. Because that's awesome. Now, on this turn, I actually really think what I want to do is actually just daze you for another 6 turns. Now, I'm noticing that Animus is a little wounded, but if I draw my Descends, I can descend on this turn. Now, I did not draw my Descends, and an Animus is dying. But that's fine, because Animuses are not that big of an issue to respawn. However, it doesn't matter, because I can still murder you. Now there's another annoying problem, which is that if I play my Sentient, I can't descend them without I have to spend 2 Descends in order to do it. Which is still not a problem, too much, just annoying mostly. Because I won't be able to shuffle, I think, to draw another Restoring Retreat. I could build on the top floor, but then we have to deal with spikes. I think that's terrible. I can at least maybe tank you until I draw another Descend. Actually, here's what we probably want to do. Descend our Animuses to the bottom because you're dazed. That's probably what we want to do. So I think we will play the Sentient. You're still doing damage. I could remove your debuff, but I mean, what else are we gonna do on the turn, basically? Keep you alive. There's no reason to keep you alive if we have a mold, a primitive mold. You do have 18 burnout, but you're gonna come back with 7. I could also just keep you alive now. Trying to think. Middle floor capacity is always annoying to work around. We're gonna draw. Waves remaining 2. With the stings in our deck, it's gonna be hard to get through our deck another time to get to another Descend, but I can at least put the Sentient here. You know what? I can play an Animus, descend the Sentient, move it in front of the Animus, and then have another tank. Actually, you know what? I think I've decided. What I'm probably gonna do is descend the Animus twice to the bottom floor and replay an Animus on the middle floor. That way I have a tank in front of these guys, a proper tank. All right, so I've figured out what my turn is gonna be. We're not gonna keep this Animus alive. I'm gonna instead play Restoration Detonation here. Yeah, you're taking a lot of damage, and you're hurting me. It sucks. It really sucks. But I can replay this Animus next turn, and it'll be at full health. So I don't mind this. I could heal you for 30, but you're gonna take the 36 damage over the next 2 turns. So yeah, let's just remove all burnout and debuff effects from a unit. You know what? There you go. I just hope we don't draw the Daze card. Also can't really let you make it up, but I guess that's what the Animus is gonna be for. So, there's a few things that we need to spend our money on. This is a big one. hurting you. I mean, we've got an Animus that's going to come out and do 200 damage to you, so that's probably the big play here, with a Wicklash on top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4 energy. We'll play this. You guys can't even hit the pyre, so I don't really have to worry about you. We need to descend, and then descend. You're gonna be at the back, but you'll be at the front next turn. Excuse me. Animus is doing 200 damage. We can actually increase that. 244. You're not gonna kill the pyre, so I'm very a happy man. We're actually not gonna get a Vine Grasp this turn. So we have to make sure we don't play enough stings that we can't play the Vine Grasp. Or we just daze you for a bunch. That'll work too, but I really want the Sentient in the front. And if we get super lucky, we can draw into a Descend, but who knows. So I'm gonna let you go because you don't matter. I'm going to play healing, and this buys us a turn on Divinity. That's gotta be worth it. We've not buffed our damage as much as I would have liked, is the only thing that I'm really kind of concerned about. We're gonna have, 10 turns on him to just do free damage. How much damage are we doing from that? 400 damage a turn? All right, so that's 400 damage. We should be fine. In hindsight, I think I'm over-complicating things. I think we murder you. You know what's funny is that you're actually dying to the spikes. So playing Restoration Detonation literally just saves us 4 damage. But what else are we gonna do? I can't kill you. I can't play enough stings to kill you either, because I gotta make sure I don't have enough stings to play. Or like I gotta make sure I have the ability to draw a Vine Grasp to pull the Sentient forward, but we can play this. And then I think we just want to, I can only play 2. Getting you to 45 doesn't matter. So what we're gonna do is play 1, 2. I'm gonna remove all debuff effects from a unit. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm going to Steel Enhance you. Should have played the Purifying Cleanse first. Absolutely, we can play it now, I suppose. That was a bit silly. We're gonna daze you again. Now, 8 cards means we can get a Vine Grasp, because the first card is the Sting, the second card is the Vine Grasp. So you're dying. Funnily enough, 9 turns of daze is not good enough. However, now you're not making it through. I can play all the Stings I want. Debuff, buff. You know what? Removing all of our sap would be pretty sick. Okay. Victory. Now that fight did take, how long did that take? We were at 42 minutes on Seraph, right? So that fight took like, I don't know, the past 2 fights took 16 minutes, that's all I'm saying. But that was still a very fast victory. It's just, Animus, buff the Animus. Yeah, I've been trying to find more Vine Grasps in runs lately, even just 1, so I can reorient enemy units or my units. There you go, we gilded a card too. So getting the relic that gives us a Vine Grasp per turn is amazing, because it is just a fantastic relic. I wish that we could have this relic appear more often, or just Vine Grasps. I like starting with them in my deck because they're targeted damage and they reorient enemies. You can get rid of tanks or pull an annoying unit forward, and then you can just quick him to death. But Animus, you love to see it. Restoration Detonation, you love to see it. Nexus Spike, very interesting, but good Wicklash damage bonuses on our Animuses. We were able to scale them up a little bit. And let's see. Free Stings, top tier relic. Free Vine Grasps, top tier relic. Free Burnout Stacks, top tier relic if you need Burnout Stacks. And Spikes doing double damage is just absurd on your champion. What can I say? Great run. and I kind of got everything I asked for. For now, for those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, check me out on Twitch for when I go live, support the channel, any of the links below in the video description. And I hope to see you here again for the next run of Monster Train.